Hello, and welcome back to another episode of Project Zomboid. Today we're going back, finally. I'm doing some more Project Zomboid tutorials, and today's is going to be on starting out, Day 1 Survival. So I've spawned as a fresh spawn in the town of Muldrow, which is the standard map that came with Project Zomboid. It's one of the 2 default maps, and it's probably the most played out of all of the maps for new players because it's a bit smaller and less challenging than West Point. So I've spawned inside a motorhome, or I don't know what the term is. We don't have these sort of things where I am. I'd say a mobile home. In any case, we've spawned inside one of these small homes. They don't have a lot of supplies. They have a basic kitchen, and from there we've now got one of the 3 things that we'll be looking for. So as a new spawn, there are generally 3 things that I start looking for straight away on day 1. First is food, which we have plenty of here. Second is water, where we've found a water bottle. And the last is a weapon. So we're lucky. In the first house that you spawn in, you won't actually have any zombies in that house. So I'm lucky. I found food, water, and a weapon first up. So we'll place a water bottle into our main inventory, and we'll take the frying pan. We'll right-click on frying pan and select Equip Primary. That will make it our primary weapon. And the frying pan makes a pretty good weapon starting off. It's pretty durable. So, now we've got food, water, and a weapon. Grab some food. Grab the fresh food first. Some processed cheese. I believe that we'll need to actually cook those eggs to make them usable. The last thing that we want to grab is medicine. So there are many different medicine items, but the most critical one for a new player is disinfectant. And whiskey is a useful disinfectant. So if you find whiskey, take it with you. That is an essential item, in my opinion. If you are injured and an injury gets infected, so that can be a cut or a scratch from a zombie, and obviously when I talk about infection, I'm not talking about the zombie infection, I'm talking about a regular infection that can be fixed. You will be able to make sterilised bandages. So I'll show you how to make those later. But so for the moment, grab any whiskey bottle that you find. We'll grab this food. And the last thing we've got food, water, and some medicine. The last thing we want is a bag. So we'll check this medicine cabinet here. There's nothing there. Most of this stuff isn't that useful. I was looking for bandages or disinfectant. Okay. So we haven't found anything. What we're going to be doing is trying to move up to what's going to be our main base. Now, I'm on the far side of town, and this next tip is because I know Muldrow, I know the area. You generally want to try and start moving towards where you want to set up, so your base. And on the way, you want to try and be grabbing as many food, water, and tools as you can realistically carry. And we need a bag, so that's basically what I'm looking for at the moment. Now, the other thing too is I always carry more than 1 water bottle. I haven't found any water bottles yet. Any additional water bottles. But what we can do is cheat. Go in here and you see this remoulade. I believe it's the equivalent of what we have here, which is like mayonnaise, but I could be wrong. Right click and we can eat that. And that will leave us an empty bottle. Now, when you're looking for water, you may also find empty bottles, and such as we've got here. Walk up to any water source. There'll be a zombie in here. Kill those guys. And I'll show you how to fill water bottles and any container. Okay. So, we have an empty bottle, and that's the first thing you want to find. Get an empty bottle. You can find that in trash bins like these, or you can find water bottles in kitchen areas. Priority 1. Right click on any water source such as a toilet or a shower or a sink, and you'll have the option to fill. There you go. We now have 2 water bottles. That is enough for 4 or 5 days worth of water. So we won't go thirsty for a long time. As far as food, we just grab a couple of fresh food items to eat on the way. We don't have a bag yet, so you want to be very careful. If you don't have a bag, you can only carry a certain amount of stuff. At the top is your weight units. I'm carrying 5.63 units of weight with a total of 12 units. So I'm a bit over halfway on what I can carry. Now we have the essentials, we can start going to where we're going to set up our base. Now you may not actually make it there on the first day, but you want to try and get a mental idea of where you want to go. The first time you play, obviously you're not going to have that mental idea, and you're just going to have to do a bit of exploration and to work out what spots are good and what spots are bad. But a general tip around where to set up is you want to have somewhere that's close to a lot of buildings and is also more than 1 story in height. So a 2-story building is perfect. You're not always going to be able to find that, but to be honest, I won't set up base in somewhere that isn't 2 story. It's just not worth it. So a good example would be, this house is only 1 story, so that's no good. There is a 2-story house up here. As we move up through here, I'm holding down the control key, and that's putting me into sneak mode. So I'm trying to sneak by. You won't always be able to sneak past every single zombie, but zombies tend to clump into groups, and you can see them. There's one group over here, and there's one over here. I'm just slowly trying to edge my way past them. I don't want to be fighting large groups. Unfortunately, I've got a couple following me, and you can easily dispatch 1 or 2. And in my case, I'm just going to try and edge my way. I'm going to try and actually get over to this house. So where we're going is the large warehouse at the far end of Muldrow, and that doesn't actually have any housing areas where I can get a bag. Because I still don't have a bag, I need that at the moment. So I'm going to try and get that. Now we've got too many. See, we've got 4 zombies after us, and I can't fight 4 at a time. So we're going to try, now we've only got 2. So what we're doing is just a basic tip on combat. You don't want to be trying to use a weapon unless you have to, because a weapon actually makes noise. What I'm doing is I'm pushing them to the ground. I'm facing the zombie and pressing the space key and actually pushing them to the ground. And then when they're on the ground, I hold down the space key and your character will continually stomp on them until they die. This is an easy and reliable way to kill small packs of zombies, and at the start of the game it's very achievable to be able to kill 2 or even 3 zombies using this method at a time. When you hit a zombie with a weapon, and you may have to if you get into a pinch, it will make a loud noise and it sometimes will draw more zombies to you. You want to try and be avoiding that if you can. So what I'm doing is finding houses on the way to where I want to go that are lightly defended, in that there's not too many zombies around, and I'm looking for, in all of the containers, for a bag. Now a bag is a backpack of any type. I need a bag, basically. I found a bottle of disinfectant. So that's a proper bottle of disinfectant. It's not whiskey. It just means that the bottles of disinfectant have more uses per bottle. So the whiskey bottle can only be used twice as disinfectant. The normal bottle of disinfectant can, I believe, be used 3 times. And if you get, like late game, you can get different disinfectant items. You can even get herbal items that act as disinfectant. But just for the moment, you have a bottle of disinfectant in your inventory. Day 1, something you want. So we're looking in here because there's some crates. We might be able to find some tools. Now all of these are useful, but this in particular, this is a box cutter, which is basically a knife. can be used as a knife. We've also found a hammer and nails. Now, this isn't essential as a day one item, but I always, if you can, grab the hammer because it'll allow you to basically do building. And building will allow you to both reinforce your base to barricade it and also allow you to make some essential items which will help you mid-game, such as a water collector, fences and walls, and also allow you to make some end game stuff like your also trying to think of the more useful end game items that you can build. The not including the Hydrocraft mod, probably the thing that I use the most is the water collector. So we'll go into water and food, but here we go, we found another item. This isn't a day one item, but it doesn't hurt to have. It's antidepressants. So antidepressants are used if you eat food or you do something that makes you sad. So if you're stuck inside for a long period of time, you get depressed. If you eat rotten food or food which is kind of going off, it will also cause you to become depressed, and you can offset that by either doing things that make you happy or by using antidepressants. It's not essential, but it does it helps to have it. As far as medicine goes, I pretty much, for me, the most useful medicine is disinfectant because that's an essential item. You get a cut or a scratch that becomes infected and you can't disinfect it, you'll die. Get a fever and die. So we're nearly at where we want to go. We've been moving towards the location that we want to stay at, and we may not be able to make it day one. Indeed, it's looking pretty tight at the moment. We've got these 3 zombies. There we go, with 2, we've got a chance now. So using this stomping method, it helps us to kill the zombies, and it also keeps our noise profile down. We're not getting too many zombies coming in. Unfortunately, we have had a couple notices there. Try and back up because I don't want to get that entire pack after us. Fortunately, they have full ones. Gonna have to back up here because that's too many for us to take out. Try and lose at least a couple of them around the house. So when you get a large pack after you, it's very easy to lose them by leading them around an object, whether that's a house or any. There we go. So now we're just going to get backfired on us. I wanted to try and lead some of them on, but it appears to have backfired in that we've now got quite a large pack after us. So we could essentially try and that's too. So when you get into a situation like this, you may need to break out your knife. This is our box cutter that we picked up earlier. That was nearly the shortest tutorial in history there. I got a bit careless and thought that I could just simply pick off a couple of zombies. And that was it wasn't a smart idea. Be a little bit more careful now. Go. You want to try and get some distance between zombies. I am going to do another tutorial on combat because it is pretty important. Given that a single scratch can essentially kill you, you really need to know what you're doing. So. Get too close for comfort there. Okay. So the box cutter is actually a pretty good weapon. And any knife weapon, obviously, is essential. Because it's light and it can one-shot zombies. Okay. So we've gotten rid of our little group that was following us. And it wasn't intentional, I assure you, but I've actually cleared this house out. So if we do need to bed down for the night, we can actually spend the night here. And given that it's now 3:30 in the day, we may actually need to retreat here, depending on what on how crowded our new home is. We may actually find that it's too crowded for us to actually settle there. So I'm going to check out upstairs here and look for this missing bag. That's what we need at the moment. Whenever you go into any new house, you must be wary that obviously the house could have zombies in it. They generally only will have one or two. Broken windows in a house is a red flag, because that'll mean the zombies have actually gotten in the house. Unfortunately, we have not found any bags in here. Going to need to keep looking, as that is one of our essential day one items. We are extremely limited in what we can carry until we locate a bag. Now, there's plenty of houses near here. We just have to be a bit careful, get in and have a bit of a look around and find out which houses are the most easiest to get in, and I'm sure one of these will have a bag. We're very close to where we need to be, so even if we have to spend the night in this area, that doesn't matter. We have a house that we've cleared, so if worst came to worst, we could go back to our starting house, but that was a little trailer, so I don't really want to sleep there. But yeah, nothing. So this is essentially, it could be another place for us to stay. Nothing of use there. This is what we're looking for. School bag. So school bag isn't the most ideal with backpacks, but it'll do for now. It'll give us a little bit of boost to our carrying capacity. We've also got a Red Ryder BB gun. So obviously this isn't in the vanilla game, but this is added by the ORMtnMans Guns Mod, which is a mod which we're playing in addition to the Hydrocraft Mod. This tutorial isn't about the Hydrocraft mod, it's just a day one survival tutorial. It just so happens that I'm using that mod, so it just makes it a little bit easier for us. But this can be followed even if you were playing the vanilla game. This is just basic tips. So you can see here there's plenty of food. We'll grab some more food. We're grabbing the fresh food. We're favouring fresh food over the processed stuff, because the fresh food will go off after a while. We're going to check out one more house, and then we're going to head to where our new base is going to be. Now, one thing about entering houses, which I should mention because that's the day one thing, when you're entering a house, keep an ear out. If you're hearing a lot of banging inside, that'll mean that there's a lot of zombies, because they'll be banging on the doors and windows trying to get out. Try and sneak around, holding down control where you can, but you are going to have to take out a couple of zombies, and the method that I've shown you about pushing them down and stomping works fine. You get into a pinch, you can always, if you've got a knife handy like what I have, or a frying pan, you can push them down and use the frying pan, kill them faster. You can see through here there's a bit of a pack. The door's open, so we can get their attention by using the Q key, which will cause your character to yell out. See here that's drawn a couple off. Be careful where you're using that. If there's a lot of zombies around, you don't want to be yelling, because you'll get a whole pack of them after you. It's time consuming doing this, but it's also saving your weapons for when you need them. You get a large pack of zombies, that's when you want to be using your weapons. Your back's to the wall. Here we go, we now have a baseball bat. So that is definitely something that we want. The baseball bat is one of the best weapons for clearing houses. It will strike multiple zombies at once, as you can see. It also has a really nice knockback effect too, making it excellent for taking on groups. Got a couple that are banging on the other door. We'll take those guys out. I want to be careful because that door frame was in the way. I didn't actually push him then. Okay, so we now have another house that has been cleared, and we've got lots of food in here. We're not going to be going hungry anytime soon. Again, I'm limited in what I can carry, so at this point I'm concentrating on food and water and medicine. Probably going to take all this. Most of it is food that's perishable. It's getting late in the day, so we're going to attempt to get to where we want to go, to our new home, and clear it out if we can. If we can't, I'm going to retreat back to that two-story house that we cleared out, and we're going to settle there for the night. There's quite a lot of zombies in this area. Where we want to go is the warehouse that's to the north. When you're playing the Muldrow map, that's a fan favourite, and it's definitely one of my favourite places to settle. The reason why is it's a large area, it has a lot of storage, and it has rooftop access, so setting up a farm on the roof, very easy if you have a spade. And if you've watched my previous Project Zomboid videos, you know that I am a little bit of a green thumb in this game, and I do like to get a farm going. And that warehouse has pretty much all of my needs covered for that. The warehouse has all the gardening supplies that I need, it all in one easy to locate place. The only thing it doesn't have is medical supplies. We probably will need to go on a run to the south for medical supplies. But seeing as I have a couple of bottles of disinfectant, I think I'll be okay. If you're a careful player, you shouldn't need medical supplies too much. You don't want to end up getting yourself hurt all the time. Now we've got a little bit of a crowd here, and I don't think I'm going to be able to take these guys out day one. But we're going to try. Because what we need to do is work out whether this warehouse is alarmed. So there is a possibility when you go to any location that the place has an alarm. So, like a burglar alarm. Now, if you have a burglar alarm which goes off, basically you want to get out of there as fast as possible. It will bring every zombie that's even remotely close down on you like the wrath of God. So, I mean, you can get 400 zombies in a place within a couple of minutes game time. And unfortunately, you can see we've got a bit of a crowd, and that's why we've got our knife here. So, not too worried. We can just take these guys out. Just basically chipping away at the horde. Once we actually get inside and we can barricade this place, if we get some zombies hanging around, that's not too big of a deal. Once we get in there too, we'll be able to get some tools. Warehouse obviously will be full of saws and axes and all that good stuff that we'll need. But just for the immediate moment, day one, we're just looking for a place to sleep that's safe. Okay. It appears the pack of zombies was a little bigger than I originally anticipated. The knife is unfortunately broken, so that's going to make things a little bit harder for us. Can do this. even if we don't actually get in here tonight, we can clear this area out and then just get ready for our next day. Normally, I would say to you, you wouldn't try and go for a target this big on day one. Well, as you know, I like a challenge. Go. And all of the entrances are unfortunately locked. That's okay. The zombies have created a way in for us. Go. We are now in the warehouse, and thankfully, it was not alarmed. Fortunately, it is infested, so it's not safe for us to sleep here. And unfortunately, the back entrance is... So this is a good example of when to cut your losses. If you got somewhere else you can sleep, this isn't something you want to try on first day. We know that it's not alarmed and it's safe to come in here, but it's going to take a bit of effort to clear it out. And we've burnt all our daylight. It's now 8 o'clock at night, and unfortunately, you have to know when to cut your losses. I just don't want it to break that window, so I'm going to take out these guys. The bottom floor is now pretty much, I wouldn't say infested, but pretty heavily controlled by the zombies. Fortunately, one of my traits is I'm a stubborn bastard, so I'm going to try and see if we can... Oh, okay. No, we're not. So we've got another pack that's come through. So one more thing about combat, never try and fight inside unless you have to. Always fight outside. You have more natural light, you have more room to move, you also have a bigger cone of vision. You can see them coming, so... Fortunately, he's broken that other window, and that will draw more. Go. We now have all of them taken out. Okay. We're going to have a quick eyeball out the back. See, I just want to see how many we're looking at, how bad our little problem is. Oh, okay. Our little problem is, I wouldn't say it's solved, but it's definitely mitigated. So what we can do, wander upstairs real quiet like, see whether the top is locked. It's not. So here we go. This is why I wanted to set up in the warehouse. Well, this is why on first day, this is the best base that you will get. There is only one downside, and that is a little far away from town, right on the edge. But the reason why you want to set up a base here is, one, resources. You've got a warehouse full of tools and supplies. Two, it's 3 stories. We're on the roof. 3, it's easy to defend. There's only a few entrance points. And finally, 4, you've got a nice cone of vision here. I can set up rope ladders all around here to get in and out. Accessibility is nice and easy. And also that you can very easily set up a farm on this roof. I can see anything coming, and I can sleep up here in relative safety on one of these chairs. And that's exactly what we're going to be doing. So that is the end of this tutorial. We made a lot more progress than I originally anticipated. And what I'm going to leave you with is just a recap of what we've done. So what we did, we got out of our starter house, we got food, we got water, we got medicine, we've got a basic weapon, our frying pan, and then we've upgraded now to a baseball bat. Whatever that is, it's equipped. We have a bag, not fantastic, but it gives us enough capacity to carry some basic supplies. And finally, we've located our base of where we want to set up. That is the most important thing. Now we have a point of reference where we can start going out, getting supplies, bringing stuff back to this place, fortifying it, and making it safer for us to live. So what we'll do in the next episode is start getting supplies from the surrounding area and work on making this place safer. So at the moment, we only have one way in and out, which is this door, and that's a blessing and a curse. It makes it safe to sleep up here. But if any zombies happen to walk in, they can essentially bank up on this door, and as you can see, that's exactly what's happened. We'll take this guy out, and in the next episode, we're going to start fortifying this. We're going to go and get supplies, and we're going to make this place a safe place to be. Alright, so that's it. I'm glad to be back doing Project Zomboid tutorials, and I want to do it right this time. So we're going to be doing this series. We're going to start from scratch, forget what we've done previously, and a lot of the mistakes I made with the previous series I'm going to try and rectify with this. So if you enjoyed this series, please let me know, and we'll see you for the next episode.